What do you do?
Don't really know.
Don't really know?
Sports.
Sports business, you?
Marketing.
Sports marketing or marketing in general? Don't know?
I want to work more on the business side of sports.
In sports, so, but we all, in general though, is it fair to say we want to work in sports in some capacity? Is that a consensus? Is that a consensus? Yes? Yes, I like that. Good. I'm here to tell you that even if you are not a professional athlete, you can absolutely work in sports in a wide variety of areas, and I am a living testament to that. In case you guys don't know me, my name is Gina Miller. This is me on Twitter. I follow you. I follow Frisco Wakeland's sports media class. This is me. This is a little bit, kind of really my career narrative. Just bye, Rush. Good to see you. This is my career narrative right here on my Twitter feed. I'm born and raised in Dallas, went to Lake Hill Prep in Dallas, went to college at the University of Houston, where I was an intern for the Houston Rockets during the 94-95 season. Any basketball fans in here know why the 94-95 season was special for the Houston Rockets? And Leon knows.
You worked for them.
I did. And the Houston Rockets won their second back-to-back NBA championship. The Rockets won in 93-94, 94-95. I was an intern, and I got an NBA championship ring. Very cool. I always wanted to be a sportscaster, though. From there, I parlayed my internship. You're going to hear a lot about this. Internships, experience, which you can start right now. I parlayed my internship into a job at KHOU in Houston as an assistant sports producer. It wasn't what I wanted to be ultimately because I wanted to be on camera as a sports anchor, but it was that next step, right? It was that next step to getting to where I wanted to go. I was a sports producer at KHOU, the CBS affiliate in Houston, a paid gig, by the way, paid gig. Parlayed that into my first on-air job as the sports director of KUAM TV. Anybody know where that is? KUAM TV, the NBC affiliate in Guam. Go to your computers, you know where Guam is? Google Guam.
It's the middle of the Pacific.
Middle of nowhere. Micronesia, below Asia and above Australia. Girl from Texas traveled halfway around the world to Guam, where I covered paddling. So there are lots of sports that you can cover. It's not just football, baseball, basketball, volleyball, track, hockey kind of thing. I covered paddling. I covered snorkeling. I covered a variety of water sports, all which were phenomenal for helping me grow as a storyteller and as a journalist. Only lasted about 6 months in Guam because I had way too much fun. Moved back home and I got a job in Knoxville at WBIR TV as a sports anchor, sports reporter, sports producer, and sports photographer. Back then we called it a one-man band, which I was, because I shot, produced, and edited. I did everything, with that big 40-pound camera. Anybody know why working in Knoxville from 97 to 99 was a big deal? Very good, yeah, the Tennessee Titans did move. They moved from Houston to Nashville, and they practiced. They held training camp in Memphis for a year, my first year there, actually. But anybody else know why the University of Tennessee was such a big deal from 97 to 99? Peyton Manning's last year, I covered that. He lost the Heisman Trophy that year to Charles Woodson in 97. The following year, the Tennessee football team won National Championship. The Lady Vols, the women's basketball team, won a few titles. I've lost count over the years. So worked there for 2.5 years, really. Did everything. Decided to move back home to Dallas, where I worked for, anybody care to guess? Highly Googleable here, the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys, the Miami Dolphins, and the New York Giants were the first 3 teams in the NFL to have their own in-house media department. And what we did was we produced content such as Special Edition with Jerry Jones, which is the owner's show, a magazine-style TV show. We did the coach's show. The coach at the time was Chan Gailey. That following year, it was Dave Campo. So I was there under Chan Gailey and Dave Campo for 2 seasons. We did a variety of specials. I did the making of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleader calendar shoot, all these various team-branded content pieces. Now, every team in every sport around the world has their own content department. But the Cowboys, back in the late 90s, were really envelope pushing and very forward thinking in terms of their original media content strategy, which is now what I do for FC Dallas. Very, very quickly, from the Cowboys, I went to go work at WFAA TV, Channel 8 here in town as a sports reporter. Then from there, I crossed the street to CBS 11 and TXA 21, where I was a sports anchor, the only female sports anchor in the country You know, you go down the food chain, there's the main guy, there's the weekend guy, there's the sports reporter. That's typically the food chain of the sports media world. I was the only one in the country at the local news level who was the main sports anchor. I hosted the Fan Sports Show, and I co-hosted Dallas Mavericks, right here with Derek Harper and Dirk, Dallas Cowboys, there's some fun there with me and Randy White, Texas Rangers, me and Josh Hamilton, Dallas Stars, oh, there's no Brent Severin up there, sorry about that. Dallas Stars pre- and post-game shows. 2013, couldn't come to terms on a new deal with CBS 11. They decided to cut the sports department and really start eliminating some higher dollar players. I was the first one to go, followed by Steve Dennis and Babe Laufenberg. They got rid of 3 of their sports people, and they really suffered for it, to be real honest with you. So then, 2013, I launched my own business, Gina Miller Media, which focused on producing original media content for brands and businesses, but mainly sports franchises, which is how I developed my relationship with FC Dallas, who is right across the street. I produced a magazine-style show, and I hosted a live streaming digital media show for FC Dallas. Continue to do that to this day in a full-time capacity for FC Dallas. After about 2.5 years, I got a job from my old boss who was working in Los Angeles. And I moved to LA for almost a year. I was a sports anchor at KCBS KCAL, the largest duopoly in the country. I did a ton of sports shows, ton of sports stuff. Best experience ever. My family was still here in Dallas, so I decided to move back to Dallas. Was a consultant for a media company, Smith Geiger, for about 10 months. Best career move I ever made, toughest job I ever had, because I had to go to TV stations across the country and cut sports departments because nobody watches local sports coverage and newscasts anymore. And I had to implement digital media strategies at TV stations across the country. And I had to serve as a talent coach to a lot of anchors and reporters, and I had to tell people to get Botox and photofacials and lose weight. It was soul-sucking work, truly. So then FC Dallas came calling and they said, Gina, we have an opportunity for you. We have an opportunity for you to take us into truly this modern media era. We want you to come work for us and oversee our original media content, help us produce engaging, compelling digital multimedia content, as well as broadcast content, and help us on the PR side as well. Really oversee our PR strategy and make us more relevant in the marketplace. And that's where I am now, working for FC Dallas, really trying to tell our stories. And at the heart of every single business, whether you're in marketing, on the business side, you want to be a sportscaster, what you do is you tell a story. That's what we're doing for FC Dallas. We're trying to tell our stories, our players' stories, our owners' stories, our owners' family stories. We are owned by the Hunt family. And does anybody know what professional sports franchises the Hunt family owns?
Capra, you should know that football.
Anyone? There's some biggies.
Kansas City Chiefs.
The Hunt family owns the Kansas City Chiefs, founded by Lamar Hunt. They originated as the Dallas Texans, and the Texans moved to Kansas City in the 60s. They also own FC Dallas, and a bonus here, anybody else care to guess what other sports franchise the Hunt family owns a portion of?
Doesn't
No.
his brother owns the soccer team in Kansas? No.
Nope, the Chicago Bulls. FC Dallas is the largest ownership group behind the Reinsdorf family of the Chicago Bulls. So Hunt Sports Group is really a large sports entity based right here in Dallas-Fort Worth with sports franchises in Illinois and Kansas City. So we got a lot going on. We got a lot going on, and my job is to tell right now FC Dallas's stories and our family stories and our players' stories and really make our franchise relevant and engaging and interesting in the marketplace in Dallas-Fort Worth and beyond. And what I'm doing right now is truly a testament to the changing landscape in sports media. You know, I grew up as a journalist, and I always will consider myself as a reporter, somebody who tells stories. But, you know, our viewership habits are really changing as media consumers. Do you guys watch the news ever? Ever? Resounding no's. Resounding no's. What's the first thing you guys pick up in the morning? When you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you go to? What was that? Ding, 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 ding. You guys have changed the landscape because nobody watches TV anymore. Everybody watches and consumes media on these little mobile devices, which really has had a difficult and almost cannibalistic effect on local news, which is kind of how I grew up as a professional. I always wanted to be a local sportscaster.